A King and a Court of Fools by H. Ryan. Written by Larry Enright and read by Larry Enright. Copyright 2011, all rights reserved. Lightning and shadows. Rain came softly from the west, tapping on the window. Somewhere beyond the woods, a jagged vein of lightning stretched downward from the clouds, and muffled thunder rattled the screen, waking Sam. I was already at the window watching the storm. I couldn't get the pink lady out of my head. What happens if lightning hits the house, Sam? Sam sat up and stretched. Is it time to get up already? Do we really turn into skeleton light bulbs, like Tom said? Sam lay down again and rolled over. He wanted to go back to sleep. Wayne says it turns you into burnt bacon. Lightning flashed again, sizzling and crackling out in the woods. Thunder exploded across the yard and shook the whole house. Mary screamed, then Kate. I heard them both thump out of bed, and one of them tripped over something on the floor and bumped into their dresser. It clunked against our wall. Doors squeaked open and closed. Tom came running into our room, followed by the girls. "You guys okay?" Tom put his arm around my shoulder and gave me noogies. He was shaking. I looked up at him. "Don't be scared." "Scared? Criminy, Harry. I'm just cold. It's freezing in here." Sam was on his back under the sheets, with his feet straight up. He'd made a tent and was kicking and laughing. "Tom said a bad word. Tom said a bad word." "Shut up." Tom said, "Shut up." Tom said, "Shut up." "Sam, I'm going to pound you if you wake Mom and Dad." I tried to wiggle out from under Tom's arm, but he wouldn't let go. "Can I count them, Tommy? Do you remember how to do it? No messing up." I showed him I knew how to count how far off the lightning was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I held up one finger. "That's 1 mile." He nodded. "Okay, but remember, do it slow. Everybody ready?" We all said, "Ready," even Sam, who was still kicking away under the sheets. "Okay, no flinching. You flinch, you lose." Seconds later, an arrow of light pierced the woods and lit the sky, and a deafening clap of thunder rattled the house before I could even count to 2. Tom ducked, his fingers digging into my shoulder. I covered my ears. Mary and Kate jumped into my bed and pulled the covers up. "Geez, that was close." Tom eased up on his grip. Mary was all the way under the sheet. Kate peeked out. "I don't like this lightning." "Scaredy cat." "You flinched, Tom." "Did not." "Did too. I saw you." "I wasn't ready. It doesn't count. Besides, you're the one who went running for cover like a girl. And you're the one who'll turn into a skeleton light bulb when it hits you because you're standing by the window like a dumb boy." Tom readied himself for the next boom. He wasn't going to flinch again, and he wasn't going to hide like a girl. No one said a word. No one breathed. We waited and watched. The rain seemed to quiet down a little. Watching for lightning is like riding a roller coaster. Half the fun is the fear and anticipation of not knowing when the world will drop out from under you, and the other half is screaming your head off when it does. We all liked roller coasters, even Mary, though I think she liked them more with her eyes closed. They were thrilling, they were scary, just like lightning. The sky made a funny, slow, fizzling kind of noise, like the TV set breaking, and another flash of light turned night into day. Thunder followed in less than a 1 count, and was so loud we all screamed except Mary. She made a noise like a little mouse squeaking. One of the most important rules in the Book of Tom was this: you never ever cried when you were afraid. You laughed. That way everyone thought you were brave when you were really scared. We all laughed. Mary pulled the sheet over her head. "I don't like this." Kate hugged her. "It's okay, Mary. It can't get you here." I tugged at Tom's t-shirt. He never wore pajamas to bed, just a t-shirt and underpants. He kept looking out the window, so I pulled on it again. "What, you little squirt?" "Tommy, is the pink lady dead?" How should I know? Is she in the woods? Beats me. What if she's hurt? Stop asking me questions. Kate sat up and stretched. Don't worry, she's okay, Harry. If she was out there, we would have seen her. Or she would have at least heard us. And besides, she would never drive a pretty car like that into the woods. But what if they kidnapped her? Kate looked at Tom. He just shrugged and said, We'll find out tomorrow. We'll search the car and follow the tracks back to where it came from. What about the treasure? There isn't any treasure, it's just junk. At night, the woods became a different place. And in a storm at night, it became a scary place. Things moved that shouldn't. Things made noises that should have been quiet. I pointed at the curtain of rain covering the black woods beyond. What's that? We could hardly see a thing past Dad's French drain, the one he'd spent weeks digging in the side yard and filling with stone to improve drainage around the house. It had been overwhelmed by the storm, and a lake was spreading to the house, lapping at the window wells and threatening to flood the basement. Tom watched the rain pound the yard. What? I don't see anything. There, Tommy. I pointed again, but without the lightning, it was just rain and more rain. You're crazy. Droplets of it pushed through the screen, flicked into our faces by the wind. Tom's hair was wet, my pajama top drenched, and I was shivering. But Tom wouldn't budge. He was tougher than the rain, lightning, and thunder put together. So there we stood, watching the storm until the lightning passed in distant rumbles to the east. Still the rain came down. It was letting up, but so much rain. Where does it come from? Kate got up and joined us at the window, then Mary behind her. Sam had fallen asleep under his collapsed tent and was snoring. Kate took my head in her hands and wiggled it up and down as she talked. From the clouds, silly goose. How do they hold so much water? Where do they get it from? It's like a sponge that someone dips in the tub and holds up high over your head, a big sponge, and then they squeeze it. So the water comes from a tub? Kate nodded my head and said, Uh-huh. Tom shook Mary off his back. She was half asleep and leaning on him. Geez, Mary, I'm not your PLP. I turned and wagged my finger at her like my teacher. No public leaning posts, little lady. She stuck her tongue out at me and then complained, I'm tired. So go to bed, Tom shrugged. The door opened a crack, striping the carpet with a light from the hall. Dad looked in. I could tell he was tired by the way he rubbed his eyes. Come on, kids, back to bed. You'll have lots of time to play tomorrow. For once, no one complained. Tom, Kate, and Mary went back to their rooms, and Dad closed the door, returning our room to the quiet of the night. I slipped out of bed and went back to the window. The rain had given up. I knew it couldn't beat Tom and the Caswell gang. Above the trees to the west, the moon peeked out from under the clouds, sending spindly shadows across the rain-soaked yard. 3 of them ran toward the trees. But they weren't shadows. They were something else.